Welcome to 30 AI agents in 30 days. This is number 9, a property management triage agent that automatically helps tenants solve small issues around the house themselves. Property managers face this issue that 80% of the calls can be solved by the tenants themselves, and this agent is the front line for these property managers. It is built based on a database of tickets that you can see here that contains the name of the tenant, the property where they are, the issue category, and then the important thing is that the issue description and the steps attempted are updated in real time by the AI agent as it's leading the tenant through the triaging process. It is based on a database of internal knowledge from the property manager that contains instructions on how to solve each of these problems. Now, these are example documents, but a real property manager might have many pages on all of these documents. So the AI agent knows how to instruct the tenant to do the right thing. And it references which of these documents were used during the triage process. We will see this live in a second. Then finally, it will mark the resolution status, depending on how far it got with the tenant, and the resolution notes, which are the final notes, so that the property manager knows what has been done and how far the tenant got. This is built with Retell, which is a software that allows you to build steps into a communication and a script on which the process is based on, so that the AI agent is directed into the right direction. Now, before we jump into that, let's call this agent and we will follow in real time how it updates the database with the steps that I will go through.
Hello, you've reached Next Property Ops. This is Matt speaking. May I have your name and unit?
Hey Matt, it's Robert Hangu and I live in 22 Park Lane, unit number 7.
Thanks, Robert. What issue are you experiencing in Unit 7 at 22 Park Lane?
So the problem is that the dishwasher doesn't start washing the dishes even though it's on and the light is on.
Thanks, Robert. Quick safety check. Any gas smell, fire, flooding, shock risk, or exposed wiring?
No, it's all good.
To confirm, your dishwasher is on with the light on, but it won't start washing. Correct? May I proceed with troubleshooting?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Step 1. Please check if the dishwasher door is fully closed and latched securely. Let me know when done.
Yeah, done. It's closed.
Step 2. Please check if the dishwasher is plugged in. Test the outlet with another device if possible. Confirm when done.
Yeah, the outlet is no problem because the dishwasher is on, but the problem is the engine doesn't start when I press start for washing the dishes, right? So it's on, but it just doesn't start the washing program.
Step 3. Outlet is a GFCI type. Please press the reset button on it. Let me know if the dishwasher starts after.
Yeah, done that, and it's still not working. Maybe there's a problem with the engine of the dishwasher.
Step 4. Please check the brake panel for a trip switch. Reset it if necessary. Confirm after. Robert, have you checked the breaker panel for any tripped switches? Please reset if needed.
Yeah, just reset.
Step 5. Please ensure you have selected a wash cycle and pressed start. Some dishwashers delay until door latch. Confirm if done.
Yeah, that's done. It seems like the GFCI outlet that you just mentioned earlier, it seemed that was the issue. So I checked it and now it seems to start working.
Great, Robert. Your dishwasher started working after pressing reset on the GFCI outlet. Is it running the wash cycle now?
Yeah, the wash cycle has started and I'm super happy that my dishes will be washed now, so I don't have to wash them manually because I've got an event just now in the evening and yeah, it would have been a mess.
I'm glad to hear that, Robert. We fixed it together. If anything else comes up, just call. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's it, Matt. You've been a great help. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling, Robert. Have a great day and enjoy your event. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, perfect. The call is done and we can see that it updated the entry here as we have been speaking, right? So it was asking me, okay, confirm if the door is fully closed and confirm that it's plugged in, reset the GFCI outlet, and so on and so forth. And it also adhered to this document here that I fed it into the RAG database. So this means that it will look into the issue that you have. And if you have a document for each of the issues that might arise, you can have hundreds of documents, right? You can have very detailed steps here for most of the things that are happening. And as you saw, it follows all of these steps. And then at the end, when the property manager comes into their CRM, into this system, it can see at a glance what has happened. And it can also see which document was used because it references it here. Okay, document 404, dishwasher won't start. This is exactly the name of this document, 404, dishwasher won't start. And this is very good because you can see, for example, if there is no documentation in your database, or maybe if the documentation is wrong, maybe details are in different documents, it will show up here because it will reference different documents. And then at the end, it will say, okay, this was the resolution, dishwasher started, worked after pressing reset on GFCI outlet. And in case it can't be solved, then obviously it will mark it as pending team action, tenant action, or dispatch recommended, and so on. So you can see that it is very interactive in this sense. Now, how did I build this? I built this with the Retell, which I said is a system that allows you to define the steps of a conversation, and the AI agent goes through each step. Now, each step contains a state, and the state contains a prompt. And when you remember in the beginning, it asked me about my name, my unit number, the property address, and the short issue description. So I prompt each step as if it was, let's say, a individual prompt or agent, okay? Each of these steps. And I do this as I prompt any other step, any other LLM. I tell it the steps it should go through, and then I tell it when to transition once it has these details. And it also has the possibility of specifying the transition in the edge. I always prompt both of them, the edge and the end of the prompt in the state, because very often it happens that it doesn't transition, that it jumps ahead of itself. Now, this also depends on the model that you use. If you use models that are, let's say, smaller, like the mini models or the nano models are really bad at this. You really have to explicitly prompt it when to transition, because this is important. If it doesn't transition, then the problem is that it won't follow your script, right? Now, the second step is the triage step, where it tells me, okay, what is the issue? And if necessary, have a look at the RAG document, so that's the knowledge database, and it should update then the Airtable database. So this was the part where it sequentially added different parts here. So you've been seeing this filling up step by step, right? First it filled up here my address, then the issue category, and it asked me always, it double asks, right? Because there can be misunderstandings via phone lines, especially if the signal is not so good. So it goes step by step, and this is how I prompt it here, right? At each step, use this tool and then update it, okay? Once that's done, it goes into the guide state, where again, it guides me through the steps based on the RAG database. And then after each short failure or success attempt, add steps to steps attempted. This was the part in the database over here where I follow its instructions and do what it does. And then after that is done, it goes to resolution check. So it asks me again, okay, is this fixed? I have to check if it's fixed. And then once it's done, it creates an outcome summary. And then once that's done, it summarizes the progress. And ultimately, it logs the final step here in step log and close, set the resolution status. And finally, it will transition into the finish call stage. And this call also has a tool. The tool is called end call. And this is Retell's internal tool to hang the phone up, right? Now, there is also a stage here that is called emergency escalation. So every time that the tenant says, okay, something started to burn, started to smell bad, it started to smell like burnt, water came out, anything like that, it listens for these keywords. And then it knows to immediately go into emergency escalation, and then it will be redirected to a human or to an emergency team. Now, this is not implemented in this small demo, but we would have a tool here that is called call transfer. And here we would insert the number of the emergency team, and it will immediately transfer to them and they would take care of it, okay? But for the sake of simplicity, this is out of scope for this demo, but you can see that it is possible and how to do it. Now, where do the tools come from that we used in this? we added them here into functions, into the central part. So you can add tools both in each state and both centrally. And it is easier to do it here because these tools are being used very often. Okay, this is why we used and we put the call hangup tool only in the hangup state, in the end of conversation state, and the other two functions, create call log and update call log, we put here centrally because we need them across the agent. And what they do is basically nothing else than access this API endpoint of Airtable with my authorization and API key, and it posts this data. As you see here, resolution status, issue description, property address, and so on. This is what they do. This is the part where Retell has access to Airtable. Now, there's also a central prompt here that is the governing prompt, the system prompt, that is the, as you might know, the main prompt that you specify in the beginning in every LLM interaction. Okay, and here we specify what the role of this AI agent is, and that it has to adhere to some rules, like for example, safety first, triage and solve, how it should go about finding information on the topics that need to be triaged, how to instruct the tenant to do the certain things, and so on. Be structured, document, create everything, and so on. Tool access, when it should use each tool, and its voice and style. It should be friendly and speak shortly and briefly. Now, you don't have to write any of this down because I will share the complete JSON file of this AI agent with you in the link in the description below. And you can come here into Retell and click import and then select it from your file system over here. And then you will have this entire agent up and running in no time. The only thing you have to do is to put your own API access into the functions here for Airtable and use your own API key. And then basically you can hit the ground running, and it will include all these prompts. Everything you see right now, you will be able to have access to immediately. The whole state diagram here, all the transitions, all the prompts for each of these states, everything will be there. So you can hit the ground running and you can configure it for your own business. This will save you a lot of time. So what did we do today? Today we had a look at a simple AI agent that helps a tenant in a property management context to triage their own issues and save time for the property management team. It basically acts like the first line of defense because 80% roughly of calls can be solved by the tenant right away, and they don't require any third-party vendor or plumber or electrician to come in and just check that basically the things could have been easily fixed by the tenant. Like for example, switching a switch on and off, or checking for the door that it doesn't close properly, and all of these things. This is based on this database here where the AI agent saves all the conversation with the tenant and saves all the steps that the tenant went through, as we saw here, and then it ultimately saves the final resolution. So what did the tenant do? Did he solve it? Has he solved it? And if not, why? So that they know that it has been done or not, or what steps they have to do. So finally, a human looks over this. This was built with Retell, which is a tool that allows you to configure these conversation steps here that the AI agent will go through, and it will make sure that it goes through all of these steps. And the information was saved into a RAG database. So it took all of these documents that are part of the knowledge base of the property manager and uploaded them into Retell. This is done here in Retell in the knowledge base section where you click add, and then you can choose one of these, and then you can click add a new knowledge base. Okay, and this is where you add the documents to your knowledge base, right? So for example, this is the current one, and I can click edit, and I can click add, and it adds new documents, which can be either web pages. If you have a lot of knowledge on your website, you can upload files from your hard drive, or you can add any free form text here to make this work. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the subscribe button. I'm putting out one new AI agent per day for 30 days straight as part of my 30 AI agents in 30 days challenge. And I'm hoping to see you in the next one. Cheers.